I personally genuinely think moving out in your 20s is the best decision you could ever make. It was the best decision I ever made. Now listen, I know not everybody is in the position to do that when they're in their 20s, especially if you live in Canada. Yes, your girl is Canadian. Oh, Canada. I moved out of my parents' house at 24. I'm 25, so it hasn't been very long, but it's been the best time of my life. But everyone always tells you the same thing when you're thinking of moving out. They go, enjoy it while it lasts, save your money, save as much as you can, like just live off your parents. Do you know how expensive rent is? Like just enjoy it while it lasts. Stay as home as long as you can. Hell no. Hell no. If you ask me, I would never give you that advice. Financially, they're right. Emotionally, spiritually, developmentally, they're wrong. You really do need to get out of there before you become emotionally fused to your childhood bedroom, even like your parents' house. I had like a weird attachment over there. And now every time I'm like there, I'm like, this is so weird. I like used to live here. Like I love my parents, okay? But there is something so humbling about being a grown woman trying to have this mysterious feminine era while your mom is like, Sarah, where'd you go last night? To church. 1 a.m. mass. Mommy. You cannot enter your sensual, divine, feminine era while your dad is still asking you to hold the fucking flashlight. It's just wrong. I love you, Dad. I'd still hold the flashlight for you. But moving out genuinely changes your brain chemistry. You learn so much about yourself. Like you learn, oh, I actually am clean. I just don't like someone yelling at me because I left a fork in the sink. If I leave a fork in my sink, I walk by it and I'm like, oh yeah, there's a fork in the sink. I should probably wash that. I'll get to it later. And I'm not even mad about it because it's my fucking fork. But I get it though, because if someone else left a dirty fork in my sink, pissed. My sister comes over and she'll just like have a cup of water and like leave the glass somewhere. And I'm immediately looking at her like, are you going to pick up after yourself? I also learned like, oh, I actually love peace and quiet. And I'm not antisocial, okay? I just don't like someone knocking on my bedroom door every 15 minutes like I'm in a fucking zoo exhibit. And you realize how much freedom actually matters. Like freedom to just exist, sit in silence, to romanticize your little coffee and like sit on your couch and cry and have no one asking you, is it that time of the month? No, mommy. No, I'm sad and I can be sad. I also romanticize everything in my life. And that is the one thing that I think has been my secret sauce to like happiness, but also success. And like, I think truly what you put out there, I just went French. What you put out there is what you receive. And you know, if you just radiate good fucking vibes and you are like happy about everything, you will be so blessed. And like I have been. Also, living alone, no one talks about how incredible it is to come home from a date and not have anyone interrogating you. I think that's like my favorite part. Because when you live at home and you go on a date, you have to like sneak in like some kind of teenager from a Victorian war era. It's so dumb. And the next morning, it's always, so where did you go? Meanwhile, when you live alone, you can just walk in the door, throw your purse across the room, and stare at the wall for 45 minutes processing the psychological damage privately. Nobody has to know that a 29-year-old just sat across from me at dinner talking about crypto and his mindset. And nobody has to know that he said, I'm just really bad at texting, which is code for, I'm gonna ruin your fucking week. And no one has to know that he pronounced bruschetta confidently wrong. Bruschetta. Bruschetta. Can I get your bruschetta? You just come home and you sit on your couch and you rot in silence with only your cat as witness. And it's honestly so good. Nobody knows what I'm up to. And it's like the best. It's really the best. I have so many side quests and like, they're mine. These are my side quests. Living alone is also the biggest flex and punishment simultaneously. Because on one hand, my apartment is my sanctuary. I have my cat, my candles, my ambient lighting, and my little curated vibe that I worked so fucking hard for. It took me months for this place to feel like me. And furnishing an apartment, why are the most random products priced like luxury goods? Nobody warned me about curtain rods. Holy shit. If you have big windows and you want the nice curtain rods, like the ones that are double rotted so you can have the nice shears and the blackouts for your little cinema movie nights, prepare to have first, second, and last month's rent because that second month's rent is going to your fucking curtain rods. Me on a first date. You know what's so crazy? The price of fucking curtain rods. It's like peak adulthood, honestly. I swear that every part of decorating your apartment feels like a financial prank. But then people come over and they're like, wow, this is like something out of MTV Cribs. I'm like, that is like a fucking reward. Thank you. Biggest compliment ever. And then a man enters your space. Why are men just so incapable of entering a space softly? Like existing softly in my apartment. I'm putting that on my dating resume. Must exist softly. Like, fuck me. Like, why does it suddenly look like you lost your keys in my fucking bathroom? I had a guy come over once and this man used my shower without asking. I was just sitting on the couch and I heard shh. Oh, hello. And every time I have a man in here too, she's like, why would a man be there, right? You don't like the men's. Listen, if I go over to someone's house, I remember I used to treat my ex's place, who, you know, had like 10 other girls staying there, whatever, like it was my fucking home. I would literally offer to do his dishes. And like, I remember him being like, no, baby, it's okay. Like, seriously, don't worry about it. And it was because he didn't want me to do his other bitch's dishes. But like, I realized that afterward. The point is, don't use my fucking shower, dude. Ask. Oh my God. Yeah, he left the country. Thank God. Also, dating while living alone is actually dangerous now because I actually like my own company now. Before I used to date out of boredom, and now I'm like, do I actually want you here? And also, like, do I actually want you knowing where I live? Because, like, first of all, you're a man, but also, that's it, you're a man. And also, once you create a space for yourself, a man has to compete with that. It's like, people always joke online and they're like, oh, when he thinks he's competing with other guys, but he's just competing with like my peace. It's so true. Like if you come over and you disturb my peace, you have to go. Bye. That's another thing that no one talks about when you move out is that every inconvenience becomes your inconvenience. Groceries, who's carrying them up the stairs? Me. I have like a whole flight of stairs that I have to climb up with like bags of groceries in 2 trips, and my entryway, she's small, okay? So I'm piling those bags up. It's just such a disaster. I tell everyone in my life that I hate grocery shopping. And that's honestly why I signed up for HelloFresh too, because I don't want to have to, you know, grocery shop, carry up my own groceries. So now I just have to carry up a box of HelloFresh, and honestly, that's way better than like 5, 10, 16 bags of groceries and jars of pickled beets because I have a problem. So if you guys want 50% off and free sides for life and your first box shipped for free, use the link in the description box or my code. But the garbage, I'm doing it, which I don't mind because, you know, I can take care of myself. I'm a strong, independent woman. But that spider, I had to really desensitize myself to bugs. I have some crazy fucking bugs around here. When I tell you I have ginger centipedes. My centipedes are ginger. They're like the ones that are like orange. Holy fuck. Thank God I have no neighbors. That is one thing I absolutely cannot do. I've heard so many neighbor horror stories, and I'm sure you have some too. I cannot hear another human through the walls. I don't want to hear fighting, vacuuming, stomping, or even worse, the rhythmic evidence that someone is in love. No, thank you. I already live alone. I don't need like surround sound affirming that I'm fucking lonely. I'm like, nah, it's just for the bit, okay? I'm totally good. There really are moments though where I'm carrying groceries. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do need a man. Strictly infrastructure purposes. I need upper body strength. I need someone to like hang a shelf. And like I tried, okay? I literally asked a guy I was seeing if he could come help me hang a shelf. This shelf. This fucking shelf right here. And when I tell you this man tiptoed around saying no. It's like, what did I say? I was like, do you know how to use a power drill? Like as a joke. And he was like, I hope that's a joke. And then I was like, can you come help me hang a shelf? And then he was like, I can do that. And never did. So you know what I did? I called my dad. I called Bob the fucking builder. I learned how to use a power drill and I installed this motherfucker by myself with the help of Bob the builder. But like I mostly did it myself, right, Dad? So like now I'm walking around Home Depot like, yeah, I need anchors for drywall. Who am I? Also, like when people tell you to go to Home Depot to find a husband, don't listen to them. I've literally walked around Home Depot for sport and they all bring their children. Bob the Builders are whole dads. That's usually how that goes. But then the next time this man came over, he looked directly at this shelf and said nothing. And that told me everything that I needed to know because women notice everything. Imagine coming over and seeing the shelf that I sent you a fucking picture of, asking you to hang it. You said you could do it and it's magically hung up. Like perfectly fucking straight. I used plugs for those screws in that wall. Like, I'm not stupid. But now you look dumb. I will say this. Living alone has healed parts of me that I didn't even know were exhausted. There's something so powerful about building a life that feels so safe to come home to, especially after dating experiences that make you realize peace is actually rare. But then I light my candles, I cuddle my cat, I turn on my ambient lighting, I have some essential oils burning that I actually had a date tell me they were toxic, and I was just like, you know what, shut the fuck up. He literally did steroids. I think that my meditative eucalyptus could actually be pretty fucking healing for you, dude. There's no one disturbing my fucking peace. And I'm like, oh, this is why people say that moving out changes your goddamn life.